Hey there, good morning. My name is Russ Laggan, host of Big Agent Meeting. It is Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you guys are watching the Big Agent Meeting, so thank you for showing up this week. We've got a great show lined up for you guys this week. We've got Holly Mabery. She's going to be talking a little bit about what's going on, weekly roundup, what happened this week. She's going to talk about that, and then we're going to kick over to Bryon Ellington having a conversation with Mary Snyder, talking about her business. You're going to want to check that one out. And of course, we've always got updates for you guys so you know what's going on in EXP. So to kick it off today, let's kick it off with the attraction advantage section here. Like, what are we doing for attraction? I've had this conversation now 3 times this week, so I want to make sure you guys see it. We're talking about attraction of real estate agents. A lot of people look at attraction as 2 separate buckets. There's like, I'm trading time for money selling houses, and I'm trading time for money at doing attraction. And what happens is we look at the real estate business, and we're talking like, I'm spending 100% of my time on selling houses, and most of you guys need to sell more houses, yeah? If I said, how many of you guys need to sell more houses this year than last year? Most of you guys are going to put your hands up. I know that. We're on the ground. I see you guys, right? So what happens is when we start talking about attraction, a lot of agents feel like they're being told, like, I've got to take 20% of my time and I need to focus that on attraction. And listen, I'm not saying that's wrong. If you got plenty of money coming in for this, go for it and start working on intentionally building that. But the reality is, for the majority of you guys, I know, because I talk to you all the time, I know the majority of you guys don't want to distract from this to do this because you don't want to have this potentially go down. So what you're feeling like is, as a human, is when I distract from this, and if I do 80% of my time on this, so I can spend the time on attraction, then my 10 houses I sold last year are going to be 8 sales in the next year, because you just took 20% of your time away, 20% of your results away, right? So if you work less time, you're not going to get better results, most people feel like, right? So unless you change your systems to work less hours and make the same amount of dollars, probably if you do less, you're going to get less. That's human nature. So subconsciously, a lot of people don't want to actually go into this and do this because they can't sacrifice the additional time, energy, and effort and potentially sacrifice the income from this. So what I want you to do is I want you to see this a little bit differently. Just talked about this yesterday Wednesday morning with Peggy Delano on her Wednesday show in the morning. And I talked about actually moving this over where this actually becomes a byproduct. And so instead of looking at it as a separate business, I want you to see it as a byproduct of the things you're doing to sell homes. So we talk about attraction through production. So doing this as a byproduct of home sales. So I want you to focus 100% of your time on home sales. And then as a byproduct of that, you're running into real estate agents doing deals. In the process of doing deals, you've got agents showing your houses. You bump into people in open houses. You bump into people networking. And you're showing other agents homes. You run into agents all the time in the course of doing business. So having a way to leverage that and convert that into a byproduct of the business. In business vernacular, we call this a vertical integration. That's where, like, think about it like McDonald's. I just said this on Wednesday morning also. Think of it like McDonald's. McDonald's is a hamburger joint, right? And when you order a hamburger, what do they say next? Would you like fries with that? This is the fries with that part of the hamburger joint, right? So think about it as an integration of your already business that you're focused 100% on. And you're going to have a sphere of influence for this. And then you're going to have a sphere of influence for this. So you get the name, address, phone number of all the people for buying and selling houses, and the name, address, phone number of all the agents that you do business with. And then you're going to send them value on a monthly basis. It literally becomes that simple. The things that I send to my buyers and sellers, I'm going to send it to every agent I know too. Now I'm adding value. How much more effort is it? It's no more effort. Email list, email list. Social media post, social media post. It's all the same stuff, and it gets you double the duty. So by doing the same things to build your real estate business, you can actually build your agent business too. So that's what we call simple, right? That's a simple version of how to start thinking and seeing attraction. So if you're watching this and you want a video on how to do attraction through production, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel, and you guys hit me up and I'll send you the link to it. Okay? So attraction through production. Now you don't lose money on home sales, and you can start building the secondary style of income as a byproduct of doing home sales. That's how you do attraction. That's an attraction advantage. How do you like that? Like I did that? All right. So there you go. That's it for that segment. Next up, we have Ian Wheatley. Ian Wheatley talking in KGCI radio, to KGCI online. Check it out.
Hey, cheers, Russ. Good morning. When was the last time you had a good old-fashioned power hour? Because when it's this cold out, for this long, I think like the best thing that we can all do is just sit down, get a timer, and just crack open an ice cold lead. You totally thought I was going to say beer, right? But lead generation, lead conversion, all super, super important stuff. But you run out of things to say, don't you? And it starts to get awkward. Like, what do you do in that situation? You lock into KGCI Real Estate on Air right after the big agent meeting, because this week, our Friday focus is all about the Pipeline Power Hour. We are giving you the campaigns, the scripts that many top producers use to unthaw their coldest of leads sitting in their databases. So stream it all at realestateonair.fm. Catch it all on your time on Apple Podcasts and iHeart. Watch the highlights from the Friday Focus on Spotify and YouTube, or just take it all with you. Download the always free Real Estate On Air mobile app for iPhone and Android. Just search KGCI in the Apple App Store or on Google Play and get locked into KGCI Real Estate On Air.
All right, there you go. Ian, thank you very much. Update for KGCI. They've always got great stuff going on Friday, so make sure you tune in to Spotify or iHeartRadio like I listen to it. Check out iHeartRadio and get to check out KGCI. All right, next up we have Holly Mabery. She was actually with Brokerage Brief for the week. She was actually in Inman this week. She's got a quick weekly roundup telling you what's going on, talking MLS stuff and what's going on in the industry. Take it away, Holly.
Well, it's the first week of February, and it's been eventful. So this week I've been at Inman Connect in New York City, and I thought it would be really important for us to break down some of the headlines that we've seen across this week, especially as we look at how it's impacting you with your clients. So first, yes, we've seen home price growth. It's remaining slow, but it's also been cold. All the storms we saw through January, the deep freeze, and it's definitely chilly here in the Northeast. The big headline of the week, though, was Keller Williams reaching their settlement on the Batten case. And what I want you to know about this is Batten is basically the buyer's version of Sitzer Burnett. And it was broken into two pieces, Batten 1 and Batten 2. Keller was sued along with Remax and Anywhere, Coldwell Banker before they merged with Compass, and also the National Association of Realtors. Well, EXP, Compass, we're in the other Batten case. What this is any buyers that were not covered under the Sitzer Burnett settlement sued for basically inflation of prices. And Keller has come forward and they've settled for $20 million. Now, the rest of the conglomerate, it looks like, is going to continue forward with the judicial process. And we'll keep you posted. At the end of the day, what I want you to know out of this, because anytime we see big headlines with big dollar amounts, everybody gets nervous. We've already seen the practice changes in the industry. You are already taking care of your clients by disclosing to them what you work for and your fee for service, and you have that negotiation. The other piece to all of this is how you break down what's next, and you're putting things in writing. So the best thing that you can always do is explain people the process and have them sign that buyer broker before you open any doors, and keep them apprised of how you work, what you do, and what they can expect. That's what we do in this industry. And that's what we've always done in this industry, in my mind. And so just keep doing the right thing. Now, finally, these last couple of headlines were straight off of Inman News. And basically, they were spicy, right? And they have to do with MLS. And what it looks like is there's a lot of conversation around private listings, private listing networks, what it looks like, particularly with the Compass Anywhere merger. What I want you to know is this. We are going to continue to watch and proactively advocate for our clients, because what we found is anytime someone withholds their property from going to the broadest number of people to see it, they leave money on the table. It could be thousands, it could be tens of thousands, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's been studies on this from Bright MLS economists to Zillow's economists. It's no secret. The less people that know about your house, the less people who are going to offer on it or offer full price. Now, what we did see this week from the Inman stage is a call for one national MLS. And then shortly thereafter, one of the MLS heads said, yeah, there should be consolidation. There should be mergers. and probably not one MLS nationally, but maybe 25. This is what I'll say. As we look forward, and what I want you to think about in this week is compartmentalize. It's a market update, it's MLS association consolidation, and it's how you represent your clients. That's what this week was about. And yes, the MLS and association consolidation, it could impact your pocketbook, because if there's less associations that you have to join, there's only one instead of maybe three, one MLS over three or two, yeah, that gets a lot cheaper. But at the end of the day, how we take care of our clients, how we proactively talk about the market is huge. And so let's give you some market stats. When we look at the market and how we go forward and what you should know in your business, well, this is it. January, we saw the days on market, it was a little bit higher, and that traditionally has increased. December on average was about 48 days on market. January, 55, and then it goes back down in February. The interest rate freeze looks like it's thawing, right? All of those sellers who were sitting on that 2.8, 3%, maybe 3.5% interest rate, life is changing for them. And so now they're looking to maybe move on. The other thing is, in January, we saw cash buyers were about 24% of the market, which is really interesting across the board. And these stats are all coming off the National Association of Realtors website, so you can check it out for yourself. Finally, inventory creep. We did see more inventory start to come on the market in January, but it wasn't a lot. We do expect more in February and March as we get ready for the spring selling season. Now, that's not news for anyone, but I also want to give you some takeaways. I've been at this conference. It's been a whole lot listening to all the different speakers. So a couple of quick takeaways as you think about your business as we launch into February. The number one, build your brand. This is all about how you show up for people, what they can expect when they reach out and call you. That interactivity that you have should not be static. It should be social over flat. And what I mean by that is, when you look at somebody's Facebook page or their TikTok or even their Instagram, YouTube, that's dynamic. And really, that is where AI is coming in. It's scraping all of those for more information. Now, your website, that's a bit more static. You don't change that every day. Your social media, you're constantly updating. And so as you build your brand, I want you to think beyond your website. I think you want to go a little bit deeper, and that's going to be a really huge takeaway. Now, AI is absolutely your partner. What I love that Wendy Forsyth, our CMO, said this morning on stage was leveraging it as your first step. That leverage piece is super huge. See, it's your partner. It's not your leader. You're the thought leader. And if you're building your brand, you can build that out in such a way that you're thinking about AI to launch you. And then finally, and probably the most important, because you and I know that at the end of the day, this business is all about relationships. So relationships are the currency for your business. It's how you will thrive. So what you pour into your clients, allowing AI to find the efficiencies, make your workflows simpler or move faster, so you can pick up the phone and call one more client. You can go out to lunch. You can invest in that time, sending personal notes. And yes, that old school works, probably more so than ever right now. So when you think about your business, you think about the month of February, I want you to focus local. Yeah, there's a lot of national headlines, but I want you to focus local. I want you to talk to people about what's going on in the market, because the brand you're building, as far as being that market expert, that local resource, that trusted advisor, that's critical. Use AI to get you the data and help you kind of formulate it, and then invest in your people. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And that's the latest from New York City. So I'm going to grab my jacket. It's a little cold outside, and I will see you very soon, guys.
All right, so there you go. Holly Mabery, always making sure you're up to speed. I know she was at Inman in New York. She knocked it out of the park. Congratulations. I heard you did a great job in New York representing EXP, so we thank you very much for that. All right, next up we have Agent Advantage. Here's a segment on Build-A-Sign. If you guys don't know about Build-A-Sign, one of the preferred people with EXP. Take it away, Build-A-Sign.
I'm Nathan Miller. I am the account manager for EXP at Build-A-Sign. We are the premier brand partner for EXP. And so what that means is we have all of the up-to-date compliant EXP designs on our site as well. We work really closely with a lot of different arms of the organization to support agents in as many ways as possible. So that's One EXP, that's the regional rallies, etc. So we love working with EXP. We are happy to be a solution and happy to contribute to the big agent meeting. One thing that's really great about the timing right now is we have an active 60% off flash sale going for Valentine's Day, and just for the first part of the month. And so it ends on the 18th. The code is 60 EXP Cupid FS. So that's 60% off printed material, and like this, that's signs, retractables, the flag part of the flag, not the pole, but the flag part, because that's the part that we produce and control. So with that, one idea for how to use that, especially as the busy season is coming, is on open house and in-house displays. So first of all, for an open house, typically you're going to have a bunch of open house signs or directional signs. Now, the key to these, and what I recommend and what I see across the industry, is for open house and directional signs, agents use corrugated plastic because they have a open house signs, because you put out so many and they're in different spots where you don't always have eyes on them. They're likely to get destroyed by somebody, and so it's important to use corrugated plastic, because if you do lose it, it's not as expensive, especially with the 60% discount. So we have a couple different offerings on the site that were provided by EXP Corporate, but one of the great things about EXP is they allowed you to, show your own branding and your own marketing. And so there's also, multiple options for adding your own branding and, uploading your own designs. Additionally, kind of on this open house focus, we also do, so here's an example of the directionals that we have. A really great opportunity to also advertise your name, your number, your information. So these are the directionals. And then also, while you are in the house, we've seen different realtors use retractable banners, and we have retractable banners here on the site. They're also part of the 60% discount. So as you can see, they're retailing at about $50, which is one of the best deals you'll be able to find anywhere on the market for this product specifically. There is an upload your own feature. One way to gather customer data while at open house is to have a QR code where people can sign up, and then you can build out your CRM and build out your pipeline as well. Additionally, a category that we are working on building out some more and added some new products is the trade show category. In this, there are retractables and X banners as well. And X banners are a little bit smaller than a retractable, but still a really good item to have if you're in inside space. So that's the open house example. But I also know that there are regional rallies coming up, and that EXP agents are really strong partners in their community, and that you might have a booth one day or a booth at a different event where you're advertising your brand. And so this is the time to really take advantage of the discount. And then also, as I shared earlier, for open houses, a lot of times people will use flags. This discount does work towards flags, but not the flag pole kit, just the flags. And so if you get a standard pole kit, then you can buy different flags at that size throughout through and advertising open house, your brand. You can upload your own, and you can switch them in and out of that pole kit. And so, yeah, it's $29 for the printed part of the flag. But yeah, this ends midway through February, and so it's a really good opportunity to take advantage of, especially as you prep for the really busy seasons of, March, April, and May. But once again, yeah, my name is Nathan Miller. We love working with EXP, and look forward to seeing, what designs and how y'all take advantage of this discount.
All right, so there you go. If you didn't know what Build a Sign was, now you know what Build a Sign is. So make sure you check them out. Use them if you need them for your sign needs and other things, marketing wise. All right, so next up, Bryon Ellington is having a conversation with Mary Snyder. I got a quick preview of this, and this is pretty cool. Mary Snyder actually has 70% referral business. That is a big number. How many of you guys would love to have a 70% referral business? If you want to see that, check out this segment with Bryon Ellington and Mary Snyder.
And so you're auditing that list, it sounds like, on an annual basis based on number of referrals given or likelihood to be number of referrals.
Yes.
I'm curious. So that 143 folks, I guess if we could start there, what is that? If I'm one of those 143, how often am I going to hear from you? What am I going to hear from you? How am I going to? Is it going to be a phone call, an email, text, whatever? Can you talk me through how you love on that segment of the database?
Yeah. So when we get clients, I love Canva. I spend a lot of time in Canva. I feel like I'm just in school all the time, in preschool. And I will make something where I'll send out them like, hey, tell me all of your favorites. Tell me your birthday. Tell me your anniversary. Tell me your kids' birthdays. And then all of that ends up on my Google. And so when that day comes, and again, I mean, it's like I said, Google's kind of my CRM. Probably wouldn't recommend it, especially for our volume of team, but it works for me because Brandon does a lot of the other stuff. So it's on my Google and it'll tell me, hey, so-and-so's birthday. Hey, so-and-so's anniversary. Hey, so-and-so's, it'll be the kid's name. It won't even say like, like Tim Smith's son. It'll say like Joey Smith, his birthday's today. And so I'll text them, be like, hey, happy birthday or whatever. Most of my clients end up on my Facebook. Same with Brandon. Our tagline for our team is real relationship to real estate. And we stand by that every single day. We mean it. We're really intentional with our clients. I mean, of course, we've had some that like, don't talk to us again, or they're just business, only whatever. But all of the clients that we've created relationships with, whether they become a VIP or not, they almost always end up on our Facebook. I'd say there's maybe 10 that we created that didn't, and that's just because they don't have Facebook or they're not on it a lot. But then we text them. Like we have one, she's 23 and she's never on Facebook, but we were just at her house the other day and she's not a VIP. We were just at her house. We're like, hey, we're coming to Belleville. Like, do you want to get food? Do you want to hang out? She's like, yeah, come over. And we went and had lunch there. And that's just what we do. And so like, it's just who we are as like base people. So it's really easy for Brandon and I to be like, oh, I'm thinking about that person. Like, oh, I'm thinking about that client. Brandon, I don't know if he shared with you, he is on the spectrum. And with that means that he is a fishbowl of random facts. So he'll drive into a neighborhood and he'll be like, oh, that's where Kyle Mark lives. And I'm like, how do you remember the street he lives on? Like, I'll know the address, but I don't know what street this is on. And he'll be like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. And it drives me crazy. And I'm like, how do you know this? But like, he knows. He could go to any neighborhood. You could blindfold him, drop him off somewhere, and he'd be like, oh, I know a client lives here. I mean, it's insane. And so he has that, and he'll go there. And if he's in that neighborhood, he'll always text them. He'll be like, hey, I drove by your house today. Hey, I was thinking about you today. And I do the same thing. Like if something comes up or I think about them or a memory comes up, we also post on Facebook the day of closing. So like if it comes up and we happen to not remember it completely and it's on Facebook, it's like, hey, you closed this deal. It's like, oh yeah. And we text them, hey, happy home anniversary. We hang out with a lot of our clients who aren't VIPs. Brandon is going to a movie with one of them next week. We had lunch with one last week. So we're constantly touching our clients, VIP or not. I am not the type with my VIP list where I'm like, oh, they're VIPs, so they're better than you. The only thing that my VIP clients get that my non-VIP clients don't get is a special gift or dinner at the end of the year. And then like when I plan certain events, I give them first pick. Like, hey, what would you do? So we're having a second main event at the end of the year, and it's going to be a movie night, and for like Christmas or whatever. And so I send an email to my VIPs. I'm like, hey, what month works best for your family, and what movie of these would work? That's just a suggestion. They're not really picking, but to see how much feedback I get. So they get the most interaction with me as far as stuff like that, because they're also the ones that respond the most as well.
Gotcha. And I'm curious, you said if I'm on your VIP list near the end of the year, I'm going to get a phone call, text, whatever from you that says, hey, Bryon, you've been just amazing. We want to thank you. Or maybe there's a better script that you're going to share, but something that says, hey, we want to either take you to dinner or get you a gift. Are you offering the dinner first? And if they're not able to make it, then sending a gift? How does that work?
So the VIP dinner that we had last year, I want to say everybody but one person came, but they RSVP'd. So
you're doing this as a group, not just
yeah.
Okay.
So for the announcement of them making the VIP list, that is it's a video, it's a text message with a video graphic, and it's like, hey, congratulations, like a fun little graphic. And then if they text back, oh my gosh, thank you or whatever, then I continue the conversation. But for the ones that are already on the VIP list, they get invited to either like a special dinner or a special event, depending, or they get a gift. So the first 3 years we did gifts, and then it just got to be a lot. So we're like, okay, VIPs only. So then we skimmed it down to our VIPs only get the big gifts. And then last year we were like, we really want to do a dinner. Like we miss them. We want to see them because even though they're VIPs, some of them, they're just giving us referrals. So we don't actually see them. And so we're like, we want to see them. And so we hosted all of our VIPs. It was 35 people that we hosted for dinner in December.
And I love that approach, and it certainly seems to have worked well for you guys. So we've been talking a little bit about the VIPs. Are they very clear about how they became a VIP, and how often and how are you asking for referrals and repeat business from these folks?
So when we send out the hey, congratulations, you've made it, it says you've made it because, and then there's like 3 reasons on there. Like you sent us business or you shouted us out or whatever. So most of them are pretty clear. They know that like they're scratching our back. I mean, and they're not cocky about it per se, right? Like they're happy to refer us or whatever. But yeah, all of them mostly know like it's because they've given us business. We also if we get a referral from a client, I will buy them a gift too. I'll be like, hey, so like if John Smith sent me, Betty Lou, when Betty Lou closes, I turn around and send them a gift card or a candle or a gift or something that says, thank you so much. Like, this is awesome. We just closed on Betty Lou's house. So the VIPs know why they're being loved on. We tell them like, hey, you're here because, so at the dinner, we did tell them like, we appreciate you guys. You're here because you did this for us. So yeah, they're very aware. The best thing about, I would say all of my clients, but specifically my VIPs, is they're always telling us like, you do too much. You don't have to do this. Like, why are you doing this? Don't buy us anything. Don't treat us or whatever. But I think one of the biggest things in real estate that people miss is that you literally are a part of the biggest transaction of their life. And it's not just the 3% buy, have a good day. Like those relationships, they're going to carry you for years.
All right. So there you go. There's a segment from that session for their conversation. They got a longer conversation. If you want to check the rest of that conversation out, make sure you jump on EXP's YouTube channel, type in EXP YouTube in YouTube and Mary Snyder, use that name and it'll pop you right to that segment where they talk about the rest of the details. There's a lot more in that conversation you guys want to check out. So with that was a great conversation. Jump on YouTube and check it out. Next up, Alyssa Speck talking about university. What's going on at university? Alyssa, take it away.
What's up, Big Agent Meeting? Alyssa Specht here, back again for your EXP University Spotlight. My friends, next week at EXPU, we are moving beyond your basic production and we're getting into systems and to conversations that build a real legacy. We're talking about high volume, we're talking about high trust, and we're talking about a high level of execution. So let me give you a rundown of what you can expect next week, starting with Monday. Monday on Level Up, we are joined by Brad Korn. Now, Brad's going to show you how to reverse engineer your income goals into a system-driven efficiency highway. So his system is actually built to support 100 plus home sales per year without burnout. So if you're feeling that burnout, that exhaustion, that one's for you on Level Up on Monday. But now let's take a look over to Thursday. We're back with another EXP Executive Masterclass. This time we're joined by Amy Weaver. Now, Amy's going to break down the human-centric conversations that bridge the individual production to leadership. So that's going to help you attract top talent and build something that actually lasts. So that's Executive Masterclass on Thursday. Now let's take a look to Friday with another big agent meeting. You guys know the deal. This one's going to be a good one because Allison Greco and Leo Pareja, they sat down to talk about the systems, about dominating markets while still delivering white glove service at scale. So that's Friday on the big agent meeting, but we're not done with Friday yet. We are back in the lab with the Lab Podcast. This time, we're going to have a luxury specialist, Adam Coates, and he's going to break down his hyper-local value open house strategy. Guys, this one is a game changer. You do not want to miss it. Super tactical. So tune into the Lab Podcast on Friday. So guys, tag your team, add all of this to your calendar, and I'll see you there.
All right, there you go. There is the show for February 6th, Friday, February 6th. February is already kicking off. I hope you guys are warmer than I am in Detroit. It's been brutal. We've had 15, 16, 17 days below freezing. We're below 20, most of them. It's been brutal here. So I hope you guys are staying warm. With that said, let us know how we did today. Give us a fair rating on our QR code today. Just pop the QR code. Give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. How did we do this week? We're going to be making some adjustments. Got a conversation later today. How can we take Big Agent Meeting to the next level? We've got some things in the work for you guys coming up. So with that said, stay tuned for iConversations coming up next. I will see you guys next week.